The Young and the Restless. Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a wild, wild Wednesday night in Genoa City, and I am so glad we have this space to unpack everything together. Grab your favorite drink and a cozy blanket, because today's breakdown is going to be an emotional roller coaster. We have so much to talk about, so let's just dive right into the madness. I literally cannot even breathe right now. I am typing this up at 2 a.m. because I just finished watching the latest episode and my hands are actually shaking over my keyboard. I need to get this out of my system before I explode. I mean, what did we just watch? I am absolutely devastated, furious, heartbroken, and honestly, a little bit in awe of the writers for actually having the guts to go there. We all knew this ridiculous vow renewal was going to be a mess, but this was a full-on, unmitigated disaster of epic proportions. I can't believe they did that to Nikki. I can't believe they did that to Nick. And I'm so unbelievably mad at Victor I could scream. React first, explain later, right? Okay, so let me just set the scene because my mind is still spinning and I need to process this with people who actually get it. We have this massive, opulent vow renewal ceremony happening at the Newman ranch. Victor and Nikki, living in their absolute delusional bubble, decided they needed to throw this massive PR stunt to prove to Genoa City and the world that they are untouchable. Because heaven forbid anyone thinks the great Victor Newman has gone soft after all the ruthless corporate bloodbaths he just pulled with Phyllis and Lily. The press is there, the elite of the city are gathered on the lawn, the flowers are probably imported from somewhere ridiculous, and Victor is strutting around like he owns the literal universe. But the whole time, I'm sitting on my couch, screaming at the TV because it is all a lie. It is a beautiful, expensive lie, and we all knew the other shoe was going to drop. And then, Nick. Oh my god, Nick. Can we talk about Nick for a second? Because I am not okay. We've been watching him absolutely drown in rehab lately. The horrific nightmares of Noah dying, Sharon blaming him ripping open bags of pills and just consuming them in his sleep. We knew he was hanging by a thread. But to see him actually show up at the ranch? I gasped. I literally gasped out loud in my living room. Nikki is standing there, probably getting ready to make her grand entrance, and she looks out into the distance, and there he is. Her golden boy, her son, and he looks completely and utterly destroyed. He wasn't just struggling, he was high, out of his mind, emaciated, looking like a ghost haunting his own family's celebration. The contrast was physically painful to watch. Here is the Newman family, dripping in diamonds and champagne, projecting absolute perfection to the media, and right there on the lawn is the rotting, decaying reality of what this family's toxic legacy has done to its children. Nick has been the moral center of this family for so long. He was the one who tried to stay away from Victor's darkness. But Matt Clark broke him in Vegas, and now he is just a shell. Seeing him like that, stumbling around in a daze, completely broken, it shattered my heart. I have been rooting for Nick for years, and to see him reduced to this is just agonizing. But the absolute worst part, the part that has me typing furiously in all caps, Nikki's reaction, because she didn't run to him. She didn't call for security or for a doctor. She completely, totally snapped. I mean, you could see the exact second her psyche just fractured into a million pieces. The trauma of seeing her son like that was too much for her fragile state. So what does she do? She runs away. She sneaks into the Newman study, closing those massive heavy oak doors behind her, shutting out the classical music and the wealthy guests, and the entire lie of her perfect life. And I think we all knew what was coming the second she locked that door, but I was still begging the screen, please Nikki, don't do it. Call Victoria. Call anyone. But no, she goes straight to the bookshelf, behind those old dusty books that probably haven't been read in decades, and she pulls out a hidden bottle of vodka. A hidden bottle. How long has that been there? Has she been stashing liquor all over the ranch while pretending everything is fine? It makes me sick to my stomach to think about how much pain she's been hiding while Victor parades her around like a trophy of his forgiving new era. I've been watching this show for years, since way back in the day, and I have seen Nikki fall off the wagon more times than I can count. Remember when she drank because of the MS diagnosis? Or when she was dealing with the cult? Or every single time Victor got arrested or faked his death? Yeah, didn't work out well then either. But this felt different. This wasn't a slow slip. This was a freefall. She didn't even bother looking for a glass. She just unscrewed the cap and chugged it, like it was water, and she had been wandering the desert for years. I am crying just thinking about it. She was just chugging it, her eyes completely glazed over, mumbling these frantic, heartbreaking apologies to Nick. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Nikki. She was apologizing, because she knows. Deep down, Nikki knows that this family destroys its own. She promised to protect him, and she failed. They all failed him. They were too busy playing corporate warfare and planning romantic trips to Venice to actually see that Nick was dying right in front of them. The guilt just ate her alive in that study, and the only way she knew how to silence it was to drown it in vodka. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, because I haven't even gotten to Victor yet. Okay, back to the point. So Nikki is in the study, completely wasted, her gorgeous vow renewal gown probably getting wrinkled and ruined, and who walks in? The mustache himself, Victor Newman. He walks in expecting to find his radiant, perfect bride ready to walk down the aisle and show the press that the Newmans are invincible. And instead, he finds his absolute worst nightmare. The look on Eric Braden's face. Give the man an Emmy right now. He was horrified. He was absolutely paralyzed for a split second. He sees the woman he swore to protect. The woman he just claimed he was going to whisk away to Venice to celebrate their love. Completely obliterated on the floor, clutching a vodka bottle and sobbing about their son. And I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy for Victor here. None. Am I the only one who thinks this is 100% his fault? Because it is. Victor has been so incredibly arrogant lately. He literally just blew up Phyllis's life, stole Chancellor from Lily, forced Michael into a corner, and has been strutting around town claiming he's changed and forgiving. What a joke. He created this environment. He brought the toxicity that allowed Matt Clark to thrive and push Nick over the edge. Victor wants to control everything, but he couldn't control his son's addiction, and now he can't control his wife's relapse. The absolute irony of it all is just staggering. He wanted a PR triumph, and instead, he got a front row seat to the collapse of his entire empire from the inside out. So what does Victor do? He has to go out there. He has to walk out to that lawn, face the flashing cameras, face the elite of Genoa City, and cancel the whole thing. The humiliation. The great Victor Newman standing in front of a crowd, having to admit that the wedding is off. Of course, he probably made up some excuse about a sudden illness or a family emergency, but the press is going to have a field day. The image of the perfect Newman family is completely shattered. It is a total PR disaster, and honestly, good. They deserve it. They need to be knocked off their high horse and face the reality of what is happening in their own home. But back in the study, that final shot. I will never forget that final shot as long as I live. Victor leaves to handle the crowd, and Nikki just completely collapses onto the floor. The vodka bottle spills, soaking into the expensive rug. Her makeup is running, her eyes are empty, and the nightmare of her alcoholism has officially returned to destroy her life once again. It was so incredibly bleak. I know some people are loving this drama, and I know some fans are probably rolling their eyes saying, not another Nikki drinking storyline, but personally, I think it is brilliant. It is tragic, but it is real. Addiction doesn't just go away because you put on a pretty dress and plan a party. Where do we even go from here? Is Nikki going to end up in rehab right next to Nick? Is Nick even aware of what his appearance just did to his mother? He was so high he probably doesn't even know where he is or what day it is. And Adam. Oh man, Adam is going to lose his mind when he finds out. He's been trying so hard to protect Nick behind the scenes, playing these dangerous games with Victor to keep the heat off, and now it is all blown up. And you just know Victor is going to blame someone else. He'll blame Matt Clark, he'll blame Adam, he'll probably find a way to blame Jack Abbott, because that's what Victor does. He never takes responsibility for the pain he causes his own family. I am dreading the next few episodes, but I am also completely glued to my screen. The emotional fallout from this is going to be massive. Victoria is going to be furious, probably blaming Nick for ruining the family's image while completely ignoring her mother's pain. Honestly, Victoria has been so insufferable lately with her hypocritical peacemaking attempts with Kyle. I can't even deal with her right now. She is so tone deaf. But seeing her confront this mess is going to be explosive. I need to know that Nikki is going to be okay. But after seeing her on that floor, I really don't think she is. And think about the ripple effects across Genoa City. Jack and Diane are over there pausing their revenge plans to heal. But when they hear about this Newman PR disaster, is Kyle going to use it as an opportunity to strike? Kyle is already so angry and ready to go rogue. A weakened Newman family is exactly what he wants. And what about Sharon? She is already dealing with the heartbreak of Mariah, returning only for Noah to flee to LA because of his trauma. When Sharon finds out Nick is wandering around high and destroyed his parents' vow renewal, she is going to absolutely break down. The trauma just never ends for these characters. I cannot stress enough how much this episode has messed me up. The visual of Nikki hiding that bottle behind the books, the sheer desperation in her eyes, The way Victor's face fell when he realized his perfect world was a sham. It is soap opera perfection. It hurts to watch, but it is so good. We are witnessing the absolute destruction of the Newman legacy, and it is all happening because they refuse to deal with their demons. I am going to need a few days to recover from this, but you better believe I will be seated for the next episode. This show is literally destroying me, and I am entirely here for it. Let me know what you guys think, because I need to talk to people who understand this pain.